My name is Mark Smith. I've been in the car business since 2002. I started off as sales, went to finance, went to sales manager. Now I am the general manager at Terry of South Boston. Terry of South Boston is a part of the Terry Auto Group, which is Terry Volkswagen Subaru, Terry Auto Outlet, Terry Clearance Center, and of course us here in South Boston. The thing with being here in South Boston started back last July when we came down and had 3 vehicles in the Cantaloupe Festival. The end of August, Mark Dalton approached me and said we were getting ready to open a store up here in South Boston. And I asked me if I'd come down and take a look. And of course, the first Sunday in September, my wife and myself rode down. I had thought about it the whole way down as I drove down. And as we topped the hill up the street here on Wilborn at the auto parts store, I told my wife at the stoplight, I said, there's the building right there. That used to be Kroll Ford. And she looked at the building, looked down here, and she said, this is you. This is where you need to come to run the store for the company. And that's how I got here. Well, everything is going great. We have 3 salespeople, Buddy Campbell, Tony Owen, and Jason. Buddy and Tony are local natives of South Boston, so they pretty well know everybody in Halifax County. Jason is a newcomer. He lives out Charlotte Courthouse Way. And then of course we have Maria Loving, that is from Lynchburg, well, Concord, in the Lynchburg area. And then of course it's me. And we're starting to get our service department going, and we have a gentleman named Jeff Oakes, who used to be the sheriff of Halifax County, working as our service advisor. Got a gentleman named Craig as one of the technicians, and we're bringing another one on board on next Monday, which is the 6th of May. The experience is always the Terry experience. The guys here are upbeat, they got a smile on their face. For anyone that doesn't know, South Boston is a small rural county that around here people come in and they look and they tell you they're going to be back. Lynchburg, they tell you they're going to be back, and you may not ever see them again unless you run up on them at a restaurant or a grocery store. But down here, when these folks tell you they want to go home and think about it, they coming back, believe it or not, they do come back. And this has been a big adjustment for me down here, because I'm used to in Lynchburg, you know, they tell you this and you don't see them. Down here, these people are to the earth. If they tell you something, they do it. The address is 1426 Wilborn Avenue, South Boston, Virginia. The phone number is 434-404-3527, and you can always go on to Terry VW Subaru and click on the link that says Terry South Boston to check out the inventory. And remember, we have about 110 cars at our location, and we have access to 450 used cars within the Auto Group organization. So if we don't have it here, we can get it at this location for you. And remember, at Terry of South Boston, you'll love our cars.
Make sure you visit my friends at Terry of South Boston. Coming up, you'll meet Miss Sherry Parmalee. She has written a book called Suddenly Single, and she'll tell you all about it next.